Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do, I guess you can say, a short reaction, at least short for me, to Olivia's latest drama. And as you can see by the way I titled this video, we're going to talk about this whole adoption thing that she has going on. And listen, I have been, just like a lot of you, been watching Olivia for quite some time now. And there's a pattern. When things go out of whack, or in other words, when things doesn't go as she has planned them to go, she switches up on us and she deflects. Well, we know her latest storyline with Elder Bay, you know, it did just like every other storyline that she's had. It crashed and burned. Now she has to save face. She literally has to pick up her face from the YouTube streets. And she has done this over and over, time and time again. So she tested out revitalizing an older storyline. Well, not older, not too old, a more recent storyline, and that's with Gamer Bay. Olivia's life is almost like a soap opera. You know, in a soap opera, for those of you who are old enough to have watched soap operas, a character is never really dead. A storyline is never really over. They will find a way or invent a way to bring a character back if they find some use for that particular character. And Olivia is no different. Well, she tried to test out whether or not her actual loyalty gang will be amenable to it, but also, of course, the chatter. And when I say the chatter, I'm talking about the reactors and the people that are in reactors chats and watch their videos, otherwise known as haters. See how they would respond to this storyline. Well, she tried it, and the feedback that she got wasn't what she wanted. And I also suspect that Gamer Bay was not here for it. So let me just get this out of the way before we jump into this video clip I do want to talk about. I personally believe that Gamer Bay curbed her. I personally believe that. I don't believe too much of anything that Olivia says unless she can back it up with actual proof, and she never does that. She has no problem recording this man, and if that was the case, that he was hungry to be back into her life and to figure out what's going on with his baby, she would have recorded it and played it for us, because she loves nothing better than throwing it back in our faces and proving us wrong. Okay. And also, I want to clear up, at least, well, I wouldn't say clear up. I just want to put it out there. This is my opinion, and everyone is entitled to their own opinion, of course. But this whole story that she has been pushing forward, that Gamer Bay wanted her to have an AB, demanded that she has one, I don't think that's true. I just think Gamer Bay was going towards the path of least resistance. He was not looking at developing a relationship with her. That's all in her head. This whole thing about when they first met, he wanted her to have his baby. This man is divorced apparently with 2 or 3 other kids. Okay, he sounds like he's probably also in his mid-30s. He doesn't sound to me like he's eager to be a father again, just by his interactions with Kailani and AJ. We have heard it. She will lie and deny it, but that man has laid hands on her kids. So I can't imagine him talking about, I want to have a baby with a chick that just, came back to town from running away from her other kids, which he probably didn't know at the time. My point is, Liv makes this stuff up. She says it over and over and over again, and there are some people who do troll the chats that that we reactors have, and they put out information that's not true. There was never any proof that he demanded for her to have an AB. I suspect that Olivia did play this game that she's played probably with Zolo and also Joey, that she terminated the pregnancy, but then she really didn't. She likes to keep these men on a yo-yo. She likes to keep them on a string. She likes to manipulate. And this guy, like I said, he already knew that she put him out, dumped him. so she can go lay up with Joey. He said it clearly in the audio that she did play for us, that the phone call that she did record. She has recorded him. There's another recording that she has about her trip to California and having the AB. I believe that's what she told him. This man is really not invested in Olivia, and it's a win for him. And if she's able to pick his pockets and get a few dollars for this procedure, we know Liv would do it. So that's why I believe what happened. She told him when she go pick up her kids, she was going to take care of that business. Does he got 5 on it? And he said, yeah. So that's what I think would happen. So he's a fool to believe her. That's number one. But I think he believed that lie that she told. And now she has to backpedal and pee-pop because Elder Bay has exited stage left. That storyline, like the other ones, it was a fail. So that's where we're at now. Gamer Bay is not playing her game. She can't troll. She can't, do the nana boo boo to her haters that she can just get any man that she wants. She's in her feelings. And when she does these vlogs, and that's why I personally don't think she does a lot of vlogs, because she can't help but to express herself. And I realized that for some people said, oh, it's just, a skit and, don't believe her. I really and truly believe there are some mental health issues. And I think she has blind spots. I think she really believes she's pulling the wool over our eyes. I really do think that she believes that. She may be able to get away with it with Loyalty Gang. I have my thoughts and opinions about Loyalty Gang. But I think that she really thinks that what she's doing is very clever, and it's not, and we see through it, and she gets mad and frustrated because we point those things out. So the latest deflection and distraction and what I call storyline is now that she is going to give this baby up for adoption. Okay, she's threatening us, or she's putting it out to us so she can weaponize it later and she can keep us on an emotional string. Because let's face it, even though the people who watch my videos, they have no use for Olivia, she's still very triggering. And there are women who do watch her, as she calls it, hate watch her. And then you got people even in Loyalty Gang. Some of these women struggle with infertility. They cannot have kids. And so for Olivia, the breeder, to come on and just be so willy-nilly about this whole baby, it's disturbing and it is triggering. But she knows that, and she does not care. We all should be aware of that shouldn't be a news flash. She does not care because it's not in her to have that empathy to care. She's only worried about herself. That's it. That's all, and that's it. So she does not care that this potential storyline that she's drug front and center can be problematic. She'll figure a way to weasel out of it, and as usual, she'll act like she doesn't care. So I went ahead and clipped just the part where she's talking about the adoption for those who may or may not have seen it. I just kind of want to frame what I'm going to say on the other side of this video. So take a look.
And it is what it is. Honestly, you guys, we'll talk about this more later. I don't want to talk about it right now. But I'm thinking, and not because of him, I've been thinking this. And I don't know, because everything might change once I take a look at my baby. Like, everything might just change. But I'm really thinking of adoption. Like, if I could find, like, a family who really wants the baby, like, good people, I might consider that. And like I said, not because of him. Ew. No. It's because I didn't want this situation. Like, with AJ and Kailani, it was very different because I knew I wanted them. It's like this feeling that you have. With this, it's not like I didn't want, I'm not saying like I don't want the actual baby. It's not like that. It's just, I didn't want to have another child, you know? So, with that being said, if I possibly, I don't know, probably the chances are slim. And like I said, I might change my mind down the line. But I just feel like if I could bless somebody with a baby, somebody who is a good person and will take care of the baby and love the baby, I might look into that. I might. So if you guys know anybody, let me know, or let them know. But they have to be wealthy, and they have to, be good people, pass background checks, all types of shit, and just be good people all around. So anyway, it's a thought. It's definitely a thought. And like I said, once again, it's not because of him, gross. It's just because this is not what I wanted. This is not, and we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that in a different video, but it's just a thought, okay? I'm thinking of it. I'm thinking maybe that's the way to go. And plus, it's like the blessing of somebody else with a child who can't have a child, Because I know I'm overly blessed. I'm very blessed, honey. And if I could bless another woman with a baby, it's like, that's a beautiful thing, If I'm in the position where it's like, I feel like I can't right now, or whatever the case may be, So anyway, it's just a thought. Like I said, we'll talk about it later. Let me get them to sleep because they need to take a nap, okay? And I want some ice cream.
Okay, so first let me just get this out of the way. This is the obvious. Olivia is trolling. She may have had these thoughts, and she may have thought about them early on in her pregnancy and when she was in jail. But Olivia believes that kids that she gives birth to are her property. She has technically given 3 kids to Nisha by way of Gerard getting custody of her 3 oldest kids. And we see how that turns out. Now, she didn't say this in this particular video, but she uploaded another live today where she was at McDonald's and she brought up the whole adoption thing again, because I guess people in her chat, of course, were asking about it. And she even offered up her email address and was saying, oh, just let me know if you know someone who may be interested in adoption. And they have to pass all these background checks. We'll get back to that. But Olivia sees children as her property. She's not going to give up this property. And she goes on to say in that McDonald's live that she wants an open adoption where she can have a relationship with that couple. Hopefully, if, and I say if with a big capital I and a capital F, she was to entertain adoption and go through with it, and it's an open adoption, she will give that couple hell. And I hope the couple, if that does materialize, watches YouTube because they just need to see how she interacts with Gerard and Nisha to know that is a non-starter. They do not want to invite this woman into their life. And I say with a big if. I believe she's blowing smoke. I believe this is another storyline. This is another deflection. She wants to get us talking about it. And guess what? We're going to talk about it because, especially for us reactors that are monetized, I'm not one of them yet on this channel. Hey, why not? It's free money. Whether it's $10 or $90. It's free money. It could buy something, okay? So it's worth it to react on it and also to kind of scrutinize it and look at it for what it is. Most of us have already figured out her game. And also in this clip, she was going on to say, oh, this has nothing to do with him. She talks about the fact that maybe that this baby is not as wanted as she tried to portray it as being. She said that early on, and I personally think she purposely got pregnant. Liv is a breeder. She knows when she's ovulating. This baby was to serve a couple of purposes. One, to replace it finishes up the trifecta of replacing the Webb kids. She thought it also would get her out of jail or leniency in regards to having to go to jail. And 3, she just she likes having babies. She loves them when they're babies. So this baby is a useful tool. And it's also a way for her to avoid the reality of her situation. Okay? And that she's what, probably about 70, 80K in child support debt, and she's staring at going to jail again. But in her selfishness and her pea brain, it didn't calculate, and she was making poor choices, because we know when she came back to Florida, she was on a tear. She was smoking, drinking, partying, having indiscriminate sex, unprotected. This woman has said on video, I don't have the video clipped, where she knows when she's fertile. So this was not a mistake. I don't believe it, and don't you believe it. But I think once the fog cleared, she realized it is a mistake. And she's having a baby, which she planned to have it with Joey. I have no doubt about that. I just think that Gamer Bay and Prison Bay and Gerard's finger were just backup plans just in case, because she still needed to produce a pregnancy for this leniency she thought that she was going to get with the courts that never panned out. But if she had her way, Joey would have been that father, because she knows how to play Joey. So again, she's pulling that same playbook that she pulled on Zolo and Joey. She's pulling that on Gamer Bay. And I don't think that she has enough a hold on him for that to stick. If he wants to be a deadbeat, she's the perfect incubator to do that with, because she likes deadbeat fathers. She doesn't really want a man to be a part of her life when she's trying to raise her kids. So I don't believe for a minute that Gamer Bay is trying to be in this baby's life. So I will agree with her there that it has nothing to do with him, because unless someone else changes his mind, I don't think he's going to be chasing Liv down regarding this baby. But there's another component to it too. If she's going to do an adoption, she needs to get someone to sign off on this baby. She can't just go into the adoption and say she doesn't know who the father is. If this is a legal adoption, they're going to research, and they're going to want the father to terminate their rights, because if they don't do that, it comes back on them. So there's so many problems with this, and the number one problem is that Liv has no intentions of putting this baby up for adoption. She knows now, again, that we're talking about it. It's gaining some traction. So this gives her something to pull us with, and to trigger, like I said, women who are vulnerable to topics like this. She has no problem doing that. So I suspect in the next coming days, she's going to get more into this whole adoption story. She's going to drag it out to the end of her pregnancy, because unless she finds a man to substitute this story, it's going to drag on. And even if she does find a man, she's still going to keep this story alive, because again, it's going to get the clicks and the views. So that is what's going on, in my opinion, with this whole thing about adoption. To me, it's a mess. It's tragic. Is it even really worth our time? Olivia is a mess. And like I said in a reactors chat, we need to keep our foot on her neck, not let her squirm out of this. So Olivia, please keep the story going. I know that if I react on you moving forward, or when I do a reaction on you, I will be asking, have you made any headway with the adoption? If you decide to try to kill this storyline off, I'm going to question why. And honestly, I want to be quite honest. I have opinions about you as a mother, and would you giving a child up for adoption be the best thing for the child? It should be a viable option, but again, I know how you roll. I don't think it would be. Okay. And also too, I look at the impact of adoption. I know quite a few people who were adopted and how that shaped them. Okay. And there would be something there is something to be said about how kids with adoptions sometimes have some issues with that, especially finding out their mom had other kids and kept those other kids. They start to wonder, why not me? And then you have some who it's a successful situation all around. They are well adjusted. They made peace with the fact that they're adopted, and they may or may not have reconnected with their adoptive mother. Unless you change 18 24 years, 30 years down the line, when if you give this child up for adoption and they reconnect with you, I hope you have your story straight, because if you don't, the internet does. And on that note, I want to wrap up this reaction to Olivia and this whole adoption mess. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Do you think she's serious, or do you think this is just another storyline? I personally think it's just another storyline, but quite honestly, I think that is an option she should consider, because she is not in a position to really have another child. And she got pregnant for all the wrong reasons. But she's at the point of no return, and she is going to be seeing this pregnancy through. And there may be a couple out there that would be a better fit for this child than its own birth mother. So until the next time I upload, I hope you guys have a great day, and please remember to like this video and consider subscribing to my channel if you like this kind of content or what I had to say. Again, the likes let me know that I'm doing something right, and if you subscribe, I'll keep doing this for you. Until the next time I upload, have a great day. Bye now.